A NASA task force is holding its first meeting on UFOs, public meeting, I should say. UFOs, or as the professionals call them, UAPs. That stands for Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. A group of experts who spent 9 months studying the data on these UAPs, they are sharing their findings, including, I am told, brand new video. CNN's Tom Foreman has been watching all the dramatic twists and turns in this hearing. Tom, why don't you tell us what you've learned?
Can you imagine the excitement, John, when they showed this video? I want to show it to you now, where it was taken by one plane and they saw against the night sky those 3 little dots there. Look at them. They're moving in concert. The airplane that spotted them said, "We don't know what that is." They tried to chase it down. They could not chase it down. And this was rolled out today. And now, spoiler alert. The NASA scientists studied this, and eventually they said, when you put all the evidence together, what this was 3 commercial aircraft in a typical flight corridor. The reason they couldn't chase them down is because they're much further away than they thought. And they were simply lit up that way. The movement that you see there, that's the plane taking the pictures over that distance. That's why it looks like they're moving back and forth. So their point is to say, there's a lot of stuff out there which actually can be explained if you can get enough information. They did say there are some typical reported characteristics of UAPs when you look at all of these out there. And this was sort of interesting. And this is reported. This is what people say they saw. They typically say they are round and small. They tend to be white, silver, or translucent. They tend to be somewhere between 10 and 30,000 feet in the air, either stationary or up to Mach 2 or twice the speed of sound. And no thermal exhaust. But here's the problem with all of that, John. The problem with that is largely anecdotal. That's just people saying that's what they saw. Or it's being measured with all sorts of crazy different instruments out there. And here's what's important. There are a lot of these reports. Listen to what was said at this conference about the sheer volume of these reports that are coming in.
At the time of my open hearing, we were at 650 cases-ish. We roughly get, I mean, you can do the math, you know, it depends anywhere from 50 to 100-ish new reports a month. Now, the reason we had such a big jump recently is because I got FAA's data integrated in finally, and so we ended up with like 100 and some odd new cases. The numbers I would say that we see are possibly really anomalous are less than single-digit percentages of those.
So, John, the real issue here that NASA is saying is what we really need is a plan going forward, a way to systematically take that tremendous amount of information, all those videos, all those reports, all those claims, and somehow subject them to the kind of scientific rigor that NASA is known for. And maybe a lot of this will become explained. But through all of this, again, nobody is yet saying at the government level that they think any of this is from outer space. Maybe advanced weapon systems, maybe new communications or travel systems. Some of it may just be mysteries, but they don't think it's aliens.
It does sound like this hearing maybe had a little higher dose of skepticism than some of the other speculation there. We had that wonderful chart up on the screen where you had the characteristics of these sightings. And the last one was no thermal exhaust. Well, I'm wondering then if these are all electric vehicles, right? I mean, you know, like a Tesla has no tailpipe. Maybe the Martians are using EVs.
Well, maybe. You'd think they might be a little more advanced than us, because after all, they made it here. We didn't make it there.
Range anxiety.
But
you're right. If they were AVs, they won't be able to get this far because of the range issues.
Yeah, it's great. I will say, when you say skepticism, I don't even know if it's skepticism, John, as much as it is these are scientists who are saying science can explain this stuff, but you can't explain it based on a shaky iPhone video that somebody took while camping. You need something more involved, and that means coordination of actual scientific. Yeah, this is why Bigfoot is still missing. Yeah,
Wait, but
turns out,
I
you know
don't
what's going to turn out?
understand,
It's going to turn out.
I'm
It's going to turn out that
I'm
Bigfoot.
sorry, gentlemen. I'm jumping into this. We're jumping into
questions.
this. What do you mean we can't solve all the questions of the universe on my shaky cell phone video from camping, Tom?
Personally, I think what they're going to find out, I heard this somewhere, they're going to find out that Bigfoot, for example, is actually a blurry creature. That's why it always looks that way. I think we're going to find spaceships, and they're all going to be very grainy.